how is this car still here? Now, I think it's fair to say that over the last few years, I've turned into somewhat of a fanboy when it comes to BMWs, which has also meant that this interior has become quite a familiar place to be. I've had an M140i, an M2, an M240i, and this, a seriously high mileage BMW M4 2014, and it's just gone over 100,000 miles. And out of all of those BMWs, even though this is the cheapest, has this been my best purchase yet? Let's find out. So in case you're new to BMWs, there's kind of 4 types of BMW. You have your normal BMWs, which are just your 118s or your 420i's. Then you have the M Sport, which are beautiful little M badges dotted around the cars. Then you have an M Lite, which is kind of an official word that BMW fanboys have. This road is shocking, and I haven't changed my dampers back to a road setting, and I'm on my track pads, so you're gonna get used to that. As I was saying, the M Lights is kind of BMW's unofficial term for cars with a powerful engine that isn't as powerful stock as an actual M, but it's more road friendly than an M, he says, as he bounces through these B roads. And then you have M4, M2, single digit number after an M. That's the real bad ones. Now, disclaimer, this video is going to be very, very brutal. I will probably upset some of you guys, but I'd much rather be honest with you and let you guys know what's what from my personal experience. Anyway, again, it's all just an opinion, so comment section, if you are going to go live, there might not be 0 comments on this video, just calm down and be nice to me. Now, let me explain. The M140i was my baptism of fire in the BMW world, and I absolutely loved that car, threw loads of power at it. It was my first proper my first proper rear-wheel drive car, so it was a new experience to me, and I kind of loved it. I put a quaff on it, stage 2, downpipes, tune, Williams Performance Powerflex subframe goodies, and that was it. That car, again, did not have anything suspension-wise or camber-wise, so it was just bolt-ons. I used my mate's M2 on track, and immediately I knew that that is what I wanted, so I went out and got one. Out of the box, it's enough. Anyone that says you need to mod it to enjoy it is lying. And M Lite, depending on your driving capability, isn't enough. It will catch you out. Floaty at times, very wayward. Out of the box, M2, anything M, like I said, if it can handle itself on a track, it definitely will be able to handle itself on the road. And if you mess up when you're on the road, probably pushing too hard. And on the track, if you mess up, it's probably because it's got a balanced setup to be workable on the road. And anyone that says that you can get a car that can do both really well is lying to you. But then the M2, where it wasn't the S55 M2 or the comp, for those of you that know what it is, that's the main difference, seats and a little bit more horsepower, I missed the power, and that was probably a very, very stupid thing to do, because that was, at the time, after selling it, and I'll get onto this in a second, the worst mistake I ever made. The M2 is a boss of a chassis, looks probably one of the best cars in terms of looks BMW have ever made, and till this day I still have regrets of selling that car. I've previously shot a video with my mate's M2, Jack, owner of Auto ID, and I fell in love with it all over again. The sound, all of that was great, but the issue is power is a thing, especially when you go on track and you're nailing all of the curves and you get to the straights and you feel like you're in a catering room and everyone's in a Ferrari. That's why I sold the M2. There you have it. I sold the M2 mainly because it didn't have enough power, and I didn't fancy going down the hybrid route because I liked how it drove, I liked the sound, but I was just like, this thing is lacking some power. So then we switched to the M240i. Now the M240i was a great day-to-day car. It actually came with KW adaptive suspension. Again, that was my first car where I had adaptive suspension, and it was noticeable in comfort, buttery smooth, and it was the height adjustable one, so it was good that I had enough clearance when I had a splitter. Not that it lasts very long, but it was great that I had that option. However, where that was, I don't know, an aftermarket suspension, I was like, okay, well, suspension sorted. Let's get on to cage. Let's get on to subframe bushes, power flex differential bushes, the whole shebang. Now, again, that car made me feel very happy when on power. The B58, you need to drive one to experience it. The power delivery, everything about that car, efficiency, was still smooth, even with the setup I had. Now, it obviously went and made way for this. And now the reason why it went, I really need to send it here because I'm not going to get out otherwise. So watch this, bruv. Actually, there's no one coming, so I don't need to send it. But we'll just take it up to the spade limit, and that's 40. So as I was saying, the M240, I sold it because, and again, this could be a stupid reason, I missed the M car feel. No matter what I threw at that car, bearing in mind we didn't do suspension. Had I done suspension, I'm quite sure I could have made something special or enjoyed that car more and maybe still have it to this day. But we didn't do suspension. That KW Comfort suspension is a no-no for anyone doing track work or anything at that level, electronically controlled for track work. Just don't do it. It was absolutely shocking. The car drove well on the road. It was amazing when pushing on track with people that had similar cars or lesser cars, to be, I don't know, not as rude. It could do it. But when you're out there with an M car stock and it's gapping you, and you know, with all due respect, the driver's not much better than you and you know the lines, but he just has, you could just see it in photos, you could see it everywhere. We threw anti-roll bars on it a lot. It was the suspension. Because since then I have been out in a mate of mine who's got an M140i Charlie. You can see it on the channel, and that is an M-Lite. That is the OG M-Lite, M140i, and that car feels like a race car when I'm driving it. No offense, Charlie, I did beat your time, but like, he's gonna punch me in the mouth. But as I was saying, for me anyway, there's something about an M car that just means business. Handling just cannot be beaten out of the box. Now this beast, the BMW M4, honestly, it's probably the best car I've owned. So yes, I decided, along with good conversations with Mark from Williams Performance, to get a BMW M4. And this, at the time, was the cheapest one in the country, 88,000 miles, and I picked it up for just under 20 grand. And when we picked it up, again, videos to show, there was quite a few things wrong. We had a broken spring that I didn't know about. I drove 8 hours on that. And a few other normal parts that go wrong on these cars, diff leaks, the lot. But it still drove better than the M240i on the road, anyway, because I didn't track it yet. Now in terms of mileage and this car, high mileage, cheap money, or spend about 8 or 6 grand more and get less mileage. Do I regret doing that? Yes, but at the same time, no. Let me explain. Yes, because it would be nice to get a lower mileage car. It probably would have been in better condition in terms of paintwork and other parts, but again, Motec, G-Technique, shout out to those two because they've spruced this car up. It's very filthy right now because the weather we've had, but they've spruced this car up and it looks the nuts. And again, all of these underbody parts, sure, they can be replaced, but it would be nice if I didn't have to, because at some point we are going to have to do a subframe overhaul, so stay tuned for that. Now, I'm happy that this is not a low mileage car, because like the M2, and those of you that have low mileage cars, you end up looking after the car too much and not really using it as BMW intended. It's not a Porsche exclusive or limited edition. It's not a Lamborghini. This is a car they've made thousands and thousands of. I'm not gonna say millions, but thousands of. So there is no real reason for me to be protecting this car at a high mileage like this. I'm happy with my purchase. More than happy, and again, that is thanks to guys like GG Auto, so I've just been with, Williams, Swift, Auto ID, G-Technique, Yokohama, you name it. those companies' support have made this car into a dream. There he is. That's the super that gapped Tommy. I just missed him. So now, Mike from Motec, shout out to that legend, by the way, if I haven't already, has always said cars are like employees. If they're not earning you money or they're not performing, get rid. And this car isn't about the views. If this video gets 1,000 views or 500 views, it doesn't matter, because this was a me purchase. Something that Schmitty does a lot, and all these other YouTubers. They buy cars that are going to help them and grow their channel. Sure, if it grows my channel, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, the whole lot. But I actually enjoy this car. So this is a me car, this is a me purchase, and sometimes it's good to do things for you as opposed for clout or whatever. I'm not saying people do that, but you know what I mean. Which takes me on to my next question. Do I get something that I can use as a little road trip car, still a BMW, but not something that's going to make me turn it into a track spec, which tends to be the direction I have been going with the BMWs, apart from the M2 and the M140i. However, it's a tricky one because I've ticked off all the boxes: N55, B58, S55, S58, really? So yes guys, that has been the video. 100,000 miles completed in this BMW M4, and there's going to be another 100,000 miles, happy miles anyway, hopefully, in this car. So make sure you stay tuned for the journey and the adventures we are going to be going to. So yeah, if you haven't enjoyed the video, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see all of your beautiful faces in the next one. Take care and God bless.